Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the famous Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We've seen the Daytona 500. Of course, we saw that back in the beginning of the season here with the Salt Flat IROC series. But you remember seeing the Indianapolis 500 or the Brickyard 400 here with the famous drivers like Mario Andretti, Dale Earnhardt Sr., Tony Stewart. The likes of Jeff Gordon have all kissed the bricks right here at Indianapolis. Tonight, though, 19 now drivers, as Jason Dobbs joins the group here, are going to take on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to see who can kiss the bricks here for the Salt Flat IROC Series inaugural race right here at Indianapolis. Well, we all like to welcome everybody here tuning in here on our Wednesday night relief with the Salt Flat IROC Series right here on your Turn 3 Racing Network. It's going to be a long 75 laps here tonight around the 2.51 mile famous track. 4 corners. 4 not very banked corners. A lot of these drivers with the track temp up over 100 degrees here tonight are struggling a little bit as we have 5 minutes left, a little over 5 minutes left here before we head into qualifying. We missed last week here on the Turn 3 Racing Network as myself here in the booth and a couple of drivers that are actually out there on track got together. We headed out to see a little bit of dirt track racing here in Pennsylvania as the USAC Midgets were in town. And what a show they put on. Kyle Larson coming up just a little bit short. I know a lot of Kyle Larson fans out here in this group came up just a little bit short last Wednesday night from Action Track here in Kutztown, Pennsylvania. But tonight, there's no Kyle Larson out here. There's no Brady Bacon. There's none of those USAC guys out here tonight. It's the ringers like Tim Smith, Greg O'Berry, Cody Levitt, or how about Hunter Conley? Even Josiah Millen won a couple weeks ago. But how about as we're talking about winners? Last week, we didn't get to bring you the live action right here as we were talking about that. Josh Taylor last week went 3 wide at the finish line. It was Josh Taylor, Tim Smith, and Jason Griffith all finishing right side-by-side battle at Chicagoland. Always puts on a great finish. But Jason Dobbs drove all the way from the 15th starting spot all the way up to finish in the 3rd position, 3 wide. Cody Levitt, though, came home 4th last week. Jamie Leach came home 5th, so a deeper, darker do team going 4 and 5 on the boards from last week. Orlando Rivera finished 6th. Jared Hagedorn drove all the way from the 18th starting spot to finish in 7th. Right behind him was Colton Farrow. David Carmen finished 9th, and David Worrell rounded out the top 10 last week from Chicagoland. So after Chicagoland last week, the points got a little bit tighter towards right around the 4th, 5th, and 6th spot. Tim Smith still has the lead in your championship point standings. Jamie Leach is 2nd, 36 points back, and right on his heels is Cody Levitt, who sits 3rd in your point standings. Jason Griffith, Jason Dobbs did move up to your 4th spot, and Orlando Rivera also picking up 1 spot as Macro Belney drops 2. He is now 6th in your point standings. Josiah Millen is 7th. Josh Taylor, with that win, bumped him up 5 spots, now up inside the top 10 here in the point standings. He sits 8th. Donald Bennett jumped up 2 spots to 9th as Hunter Conley dropped 2 and is now tied for 10th place with Patrick Smith. Patrick Smith is the highest Josh Taylor, with him winning, leapfrogged Patrick Smith in your Rookie of the Year candidate. So now it's Josh Taylor leading the way for the Rookie Challenge of the Year. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out here tonight because both those drivers are in the lobby here. Patrick Smith right now sits 7th on the board. Josh Taylor has a quick 0-1 machine as he sits 2nd. So let's see if we can find last week's winner. We didn't get to talk to him. Actually, I'm not seeing him here in the team speak, so we're not going to be able to get a word in actually with Josh Taylor. We were hoping to finally get a word in with him, but we're not going to. So we're going to step away here. We're going to get our national anthem played, and we're going to be right back here with a live qualifying action here from the Brickyard.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we won?
the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, welcome back to the Brickyard Race fans. The Salt Flat IROC Series just about to head off into qualifying. There you see the checkered flag up in the left-hand corner, so everybody is off the track. We're going to see if anybody can beat the quick time that was set by Tim Smith here in the practice session. That was a 1 minute 4 second .776, or sorry, 766 second lap time here in our practice session. As there you see the 000 of Tim Smith as he's headed out onto the track. A long track around here. You're going to see guys hitting right around probably the 150 mile an hour marker when we're in the draft, so we'll have to pay attention to that. So out here, while look at Tim as he's trying to come off pit road, they got to use that access road all the way around turns 1 and 2 till they hit the backstretch. Then they can merge onto the racing surface. So as you see, Tim Smith trying to get all he can out of that pink posse 000. See if he can beat his time. He is the points leader. He is one of the most winningest drivers in the Salt Flat IROC history. Tonight, from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, he's going to try to notch another crown jewel into the belt. He's won Daytona back-to-back seasons. He's won on the short tracks. The only thing he hasn't won over here with the Salt Flat IROC Series is a dirt track, and unfortunately, the Salt Flat IROC Series not headed to any dirt track this year, so he's going to have to wait and possibly hope that it might sprinkle itself back into the schedule at some point. But right now, the 000 Tim Smith is officially on the clock here at the Brickyard. How about this man right here, though? Greg O'Berry comes in here. Not one of those guys that typically like to run on the 2+ mile tracks. The 1.5 miles, okay. Anything that's a mile and under, Greg O'Berry really excels at. So we're going to have to keep an interesting eye on this red 141 here of Greg O'Berry and see how he plays out tonight. If he can wrap his 4 tires around this tricky 4-corner track here tonight. We know the guy that's out here on track as he's on his go lap here now as he's on the back straightaway here at the Brickyard. It's a long, long straightaway. That's the 7 here of Hunter Conley out of Pennsylvania driving for the Backwoods Racing Team. Hunter Conley, one of the drivers, though, has never found victory lane at all in the Salt Flat IROC Series. Has a bunch of dirt wins to his credit out there as he really likes driving the non-wing sprint cars and even the little people's cars, the midgets. Hunter Conley, one of the best dirt racers out there, and just can't seem to park that number 7 in victory lane here. Hopefully maybe he can get a good finish here tonight. He's usually a second-place runner here with the Salt Flat IROC Series, trying to just get one position better. A couple times are coming in here now in your qualifying session. Josh Taylor, last week's winner, continues with the hot shoe to the top of the boards with a 1 minute 5 second .420. He leads right now Tim Smith, who's sitting second on the board with a 1 minute 5 second .435. Tim Smith, remember, put down, he was the only driver in our practice session to hit into the 1 minute and 4 second marker, and he's not going to here in qualifying either. So Josh Taylor right now has the top spot as everybody's out there on track. How about this man? A lot of fans out there on the YouTube side tuning in every Wednesday night. They even turn it on a Thursday morning at work for Dobbs Nation. Dobbs right now runs in your 15th position in qualifying. He went out there and he threw down the lap of a 1 minute and 6.485 second lap. So he's a little bit off the pace, about a 1 second difference between, it kind of extended now because Tim Smith threw down one heck of a lap there. He goes with a 1:05.329. Josh Taylor comes through. He's not able to better his lap time, so it'll be Tim Smith, then Taylor, 1 and 2. Levitt is 3. He had to shut it down after 1 lap. Let's see where Jason Dobbs is able to come through the traps here as he's coming down the front straightaway. 145 miles an hour across the start-finish line. He's going to jump up P11. So about a middle of the road qualifying attempt there. This man in the 31, Donald Bennett, he's trying to find himself into victory lane. He figures this 2.5-mile track might be the place here today. Bennett right now qualified in your 13th spot, but here's the second place man in your championship hunt. That's the 88 here out of Ohio. That's Jamie Leach, one of those drivers that really prefer to maybe wheel an Xfinity car around this track, because you come here with an Xfinity car, you're always going to see the 88 running towards the front. But here in the IROC series, going to see where he comes out of turn 4, because he's going to have to hustle this 88 down the front stretch. He's only going to get one timed lap in. I hope it's the money lap here for the 88 and Jamie Leach. One driver not going to take a qualifying attempt here from the Brickyard. That's going to be the number 30 here of David Carmen. He is the lone Carmen here in the group tonight. Let's see where Jamie Leach, he goes P5 with a 1 minute, 5 second, .582 on the board. So Tim Smith will be your pole sitter here as qualifying is now over. There you see the checker flag waving. There's your 19 drivers that are going to take on tonight's race here from the Brickyard. So the Brickyard, one of the crown jewels, not only in NASCAR, but also over once we hit into the IndyCar series. IndyCar doesn't just run the oval here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They also run the road course. They spend a whole month here. But we're not going to spend a month here with the Salt Flat IROC series. We're going to spend one Wednesday night right here on your Turn 3 Racing Network as we wait for these cars to grid up. Tim Smith does have the pole here tonight with Josh Taylor on the outside. Let's take you through your Sim Necessities starting lineup here tonight. It looks like Orlando Rivera might have snuck in there at the very end and stole that second place. There he is as he appears on the grid here. So Tim Smith going to take home the Sim Necessities pole award here. Orlando Rivera will start P number 2. Right behind them, that's going to be the 01 last week's winner of Josh Taylor and the Bearded Wonder out of the Las Vegas area, Cody Levitt. Starting 5th on the grid, then is going to be the 88 here of Jamie Leach. The bridesmaid of Hunter Conley going to roll off in the 6th spot in the number 7 car. Starting 7th, going to be the short track man, the 141, Greg O'Berry, and one of the Rookie of the Year candidates, Patrick Smith, going to roll off in your 8th spot. 9th spot here tonight, another one of the rookies out here, the 82, BeastRacing.com, Nicholas Bieber. Matt Grobelny going to roll off there in your 10th position. 11th, going to go to a couple of weeks ago. He won it. Josiah Millen driving the number 40 Keystone Motorsports car. And the Underdog Racing number 2, Jared Hagedorn, having a 12th place starting spot. 13th spot here, going to go to Jason Dobbs. Right alongside him, teammate number 31, Donald Bennett. 15th tonight, Colton Farrow going to wheel the 62 right alongside his teammate at Darrell Clauter in the 16th spot. 17th, going to go to the 707, Michael Whitaker out of New Jersey. And how about the only over-the-wall racer here tonight, the 05 of Timmy Valenzuela. 19th, and starting dead last, shotgun to the field, the number 30 here of David Carmen. As there is your Sim Necessity starting lineup as everybody starts to roll away here. $19 drivers going to battle it out to see who can come home the winner for the first time from the Brickyard. Who's your favorite driver out there? Do you have Tim Smith, who starts on the pole here, slotted as your pick for tonight? How about Josh Taylor? Can he go back-to-back? Or how about the Puerto Rican native, Orlando Rivera, starting on the outside pole? Can he possibly bring home his first win in the Salt Flat IROC series? Or how about the Deeper Darker Dew team? Are they going to put those cars in victory lane here tonight? How about let's take a little bit of an underdog situation. How about the number 2, Jared Hagedorn? He likes these bigger tracks. Maybe he can park the underdog number 2 in victory lane tonight. How about the fan favorite, Jason Dobbs, buried back in the 13th spot? Could he come through this field here of hard chargers tonight and win his race? He has yet to park that 985 in victory lane with the Salt Flat IROC series. Ran second a couple of times, has run third. I think he's finished 2 through 10 in this series, just has never won a race just yet. How about Colton Farrow? It's been a long time since we've seen the 62 in victory lane. He usually likes to go to Pocono. Well, it's a 2.5-mile track. Let's check out those track facts real quick as we're still here pacing. There it is. It's a 4-turn, 2.51 miles. 75 laps, going to equal out to about the 188 miles. It's a 112-degree track temp here in Indianapolis tonight. air temp, though, sitting at a cool 81 degrees. Got a northwest wind at 6 miles an hour. So let's see how these guys are going to tackle this one as they're coming down. We're going to line them up here 2 by 2. Pace cars down and away here. You're going to get them green flag racing here. It's a long front straightaway. We're going to be pacing. There's the green flag, and we're green flag racing here from Indianapolis. There it is. Tim Smith going to jump to the outside real quick and try and protect his lane. As look at it's going to take a long time for these guys to get these cars wound up. A lot of them already going to go single file to the bottom. Look at them off turn number 1. Into 2 they go. Tim Smith with about a 3-car length lead. Off turn number 2, everything looks pretty good. Nobody up to the wall. We've seen a lot of guys in our practice session up into the wall. Look at Tim Smith way down as he has a half-second lead over the entire field right now, trying to stay down there out of the draft, hoping that nobody can sniff his draft and catch back up to him. He'll go down into turn number 3 with still having the lead. First battle on track, though, that's going to be Jamie Leach to the inside here on the 54 of Orlando Rivera. He started on the outside row number 1, right now trying to hang on to the 3rd spot, but Jamie Leach looks like he's in a great position to take that away. Cody Levitt looks like he's going to try and fill that hole here, too. Tim Smith, though, comes out of turn number 4. He will lead the first ever lap here at the Brickyard for the Salt Flat IROC Series. Been a long time since anybody's ever said IROC Series at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we're saying it here tonight. But Josh Taylor is starting to reel in that 000 there of Tim Smith. There you see 2 different lines, and actually teammates right behind them, side by side. Side-by-side action. Turn number 1 as the 88 of Jamie Leach slid up the track. He's going to lose the position to the 38 there of Cody Levitt as Levitt's up the track too. Oh, as Levitt's into the wall off turn number 2. Leach going to make it 3 wide here to avoid the 38 car of Levitt, who stuffed her into the wall. And looks at this. Here comes the 79 here, Patrick Smith. Usually Patrick Smith, one of those drivers that likes to kind of hang out and play it safe in the early going in a lot of these races. But Patrick Smith charging towards the front, runs 5th right now as he's going to look to the inside on the 88 here of Jamie Leach. I don't believe the 38 of Cody Levitt has too much damage done to that right front fender of that car. We've seen a lot of times, though, when we head to Daytona or the bigger tracks like Pocono, a couple guys into the outside wall. Doesn't really hurt. Might crinkle the fender just a little bit, but they're able to keep pace as you see the 88 of Leach actually stay into the outside down the front stretch here. He had a moment where he could have ducked in behind Smith and in front of O'Berry. Elected to stay out there and pick up the 38 of Cody Levitt. Patrick Smith leaves the inside lane open a little bit. Greg O'Berry could possibly be squeezing in there. And look, there it is. Greg O'Berry going to jump to the inside real quick to see if he can make his way around. It looks like he should be able to clear. Now Jamie Leach is going to look to see if he can sneak around the inside and pull the 38 of Cody Levitt back with him. Tim Smith starting to open it up a little bit, just shy of a second gap back to Josh Taylor. Everybody is single filed out pretty quick. You just got this little battle right here brewing. Or I shouldn't say brewing. It's already brewed, and they're trying to drink it up. Here comes Jamie Leach as he goes around Patrick Smith. Cody Levitt still trying to find his way as he's going to dive to the inside. Not there. Not enough room for Cody Levitt to take the position. So single file out here on lap number 3. Let's take you through a rundown real quick as here comes across the line. That's the 000, the pink posse. Mr. Smith is still out front here. Josh Taylor close the gap just a little bit down the front stretch as he's now 0.8 seconds behind your leader of Tim Smith. Then it's Orlando Rivera running in your 3rd position. Right behind him, he lost a couple positions on that initial start as Jamie Leach slides up. Greg O'Berry is 4th, and Leach is now trying to hang on to see if he can keep his 5th position from Patrick Smith, but he's way up and out of the groove, sliding the rear end of that 88 out as he comes off turn number 2. So they're going to go 3 wide just about as Levitt thought for a moment to peek to the inside there on Patrick Smith, who now has that 5th position. Leach is 6th. Levitt is 7th. Grobelny is running in your 8th spot. Conley runs 9th. And Millen rounds out the top 10. Patrick Smith going to pass Jamie Leach back. He'll slide up in front of the 88. Now Cody Levitt looks like he might be looking to the inside here now on his teammate. Jamie Leach is going to have an opening if he can sneak down. There it is. Jamie Leach going to find his home there in 6th. There you see him at the flag stand, snaking down the front stretch. You got the 62 of Colton Farrow down to the inside here on, I believe that's the 82 of Nicholas Bieber as they go down into turn 1. That's the battle back here for the 13th and 14th spot. David Carmen, the only one not to take to the grid here tonight from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 4 laps into the books here, and they're going pretty quick here right now. Only 140 miles an hour without any draft help. The laps are clicking away quicker than you can blink. That's if you can't blink in a minute and 5 seconds. Last lap, quickest car on the track was the 54 Orlando Rivera. He is running P number 2. Got around that Josh Taylor mobile, and now it looks like Greg O'Berry is looking to try and get around Josh Taylor's contact. The 01 is around, caution flag waving. Josh Taylor trying to control it. He's not going to be able to. Hard contact, and I believe actually Patrick Smith, something happened to Smith off turn number 4. We're going to have to take a look and try and dissect what actually just happened there. We saw Josh Taylor's incident kind of happen. Let's take another peek at it right here. We're watching this battle. This was the battle for third at the time. Greg O'Berry goes down. Oh, it looks like O'Berry, they both actually slide down towards the bottom. I'm not sure if Taylor knew that O'Berry was down there, but they made contact, and then Taylor tried to save it. Wasn't able to save it. And then what happened to Patrick Smith? Smith comes in, he slams the inside wall. We're going to have to throw it back just a little bit farther to find out what happened to Patrick Smith. He was back here sandwiched in between the backwoods boys. What happened to Patrick Smith there? They saw the, it looks like Hunter Conley got into the rear end of Patrick Smith, and that 79 machine, hard contact then to the inside wall. Hard contact for Patrick Smith. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to carry on. So 2 cars of victim here on lap number 6 to bring out the first yellow of the evening. Josh Taylor, Patrick Smith, both sitting on pit road. So an early caution flag waving here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The question now is going to be who's going to be coming down pit road here, as it looks like just about everybody's going to come down pit road except for, I believe I see one of the cars. I think that's the 99, Darrell Clauter. He's going to stay out. He's going to see if he can lead one lap. Can he get to the start-finish line before? He will get to the start-finish line as he crosses the yard of bricks right there. So mark Darrell Clauter into the book of names who's going to lead a lap here tonight from the Brickyard. So you see everybody down hitting pit road. I believe that's the 31 of Donald Bennett, who you see a little bit sideways, but his crew says, hey, it's good enough. We're jack her up. We're going to put 4 tires here on this IROC, and we're fill her up with fuel with our little teaspoon or a little eyedropper filler. So as Darrell Clauter stays out, it's going to be the race for second. I expect Darrell, though, as he is staying out there, he might be back down pit road. Levitt with quick service, drop the jack for the 38. Levitt's going to win the battle, I believe, off pit road. So Cody Levitt going to beat Tim Smith, Orlando Rivera, Jamie Leach, Matt Grobelny, Josiah Millen, Hunter Conley, Greg O'Berry, and Jason Dobbs out of the 10th spot. So how about that little bit of a battle? Let's back it up and see if we can find where Cody Levitt won that battle. There it is. There you see the battle. Actually, Tim Smith then, I'm not sure if he just missed a gear as he went to come off pit road, and Orlando Rivera almost jacked up the rear end of that 000. So we're going to have to find out, is Darrell Clauter going to come down pit road? Because I don't believe anybody who is a lap down right now is out on track. So we're going to have to see if we're going to get a multiple lap caution here, or if we're going to line them back up here double file right away and go back to green flag racing. It's a long track, so any guy that is actually a lap down might want to get a head start on getting your lap back. So it looks like Darrell Clauter is going to bring down the 99 here down pit road if he can get there before the pit lane closes. Well, it's early in the race here from Indianapolis, and we do thank everybody for tuning in right here on your Turn 3 Racing Network to watch the Salt Flat IROC series. They always put on one heck of a show. You saw a lot of single file racing here in the early going. Track temp still hanging up there around the 113 marker. So Cody Levitt gonna take the lead here, because there you see the 99, Darrell Clauter, coming down pit road. Lights on the pace car are on, so we will get another lap here under caution. Cody Levitt's pit stop, for all you that were wondering out there, Was he saving fuel or something? Because that boy put down one blistering time down pit road. He only spent 18.7 seconds in his box compared to Tim Smith, who had that number 1 pit stall. You saw the race off pit road. Tim Smith spent 21.9 seconds. So right there is the little bit of a difference. Just hitting your pit box, getting in and out, going to be the difference here tonight. Levitt now going to take over the lead. Tim Smith is second. Orlando Rivera third. Jamie Leach is fourth with Matt Grobelny fifth. Millen picks up a bunch of positions here under the caution flag. He had a good stop himself coming out there in your 6th spot. Hunter Conley, once again, is still sitting 7th. Ringo Berry is 8th after that little bit of a scuffle there with Josh Taylor. Then it's going to be Jason Dobbs and Colton Farrow. So as we sit here under the yellow flag still here at Indianapolis, let's see if we can get a word in. Patrick Smith, it's Roger up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, sure thing, Roger. How's it going, man?
Well, it's going pretty good up here in the booth here, overlooking the yard of bricks, but down there on track, it looks like a lot of damage done to that 79 car.
Oh, yeah, I'm toast. If I'm able to get back out, it'll just be trying to pick up some attrition's positions.
The car looked a little, I shouldn't say a little, it looked very racy here in the early going. You normally deploy the strategy that we see out here on a Wednesday night is you hang towards the back for the first half of the race, then you start coming towards the front. Tonight it looked like maybe just a little bit of a different strategy. You were battling up inside the top 5 when all that transpired out in front of you.
Yeah, I had a real good car tonight. The draft was really helping a lot. I was just kind of feeling racy tonight. Didn't feel like riding around for 70 laps and then trying to race it. So I was feeling it out. It's just unfortunate that we were coming to the caution and somebody got into me. And yeah, that's just how she goes sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely a rough one to swallow, especially when it's the first ever race for the IROC series here at the Indianapolis. Everybody always wants to etch their name as the first one to ever do it, and you could have done that here tonight. Unfortunately, Lady Luck is definitely not on your side, but looking through the timing and scoring, another one of those Rookie of the Year candidates having problems here, and you and him are in a tight not battle, actually. Right now, he's shown 17th. That's Josh Taylor and yourself in the 18th spot, both on the same lap, so if you can get out there, one spot could be the difference here at the end of the season.
Absolutely, and I want to wish Josh the best of luck on this. I know he puts in a lot of hours practicing. I don't want him to beat me, but if he does, it is very well deserved.
Well, there you heard it from Patrick Smith. A lot of damage on the 79 car. He's going to stick it out. He's going to see if he can get that 79 car back out here on track, turn a couple laps. Josh Taylor, Patrick Smith, one of the two guys actually in this league that you can catch multiple times right here in your Turn 3 Racing Network. You can actually catch them on a Monday night racing together right here, broadcasted by Danny Valenzuela himself. Fortunately, Danny not out here on track with us tonight as he's actually out having a vacation with his family. So, Danny, we hope you're tuning in. We hope you're having fun out and, well, not sure where he's at. I think he's somewhere in the hills of, like, California or something, checking out trees. Might be a little bit of a tree hugger. Might be trying to actually cross back into the native land, but we don't know because his brother is here, Tim Valenzuela. Right now, though, Tim Valenzuela shown 2 laps down having issues with the 05 machine, mechanical issues actually on his rig. But the pace car is down and away, and Cody Levitt going to bring us back to speed real quick. He's already on the loud pedal. There's the green flag waving. Finally, we get to the start-finish line. Cody Levitt will lead him down into turn number 1. Front 2 leaders in turn 1 looked like they're single file. They are away. Then it's going to be the battle with Orlando Rivera trying to hang on to the inside lane. He was stuck on the outside lane on the initial start. Jamie Leach way up out of the groove. As Jamie Leach goes high, here comes the New Jersey kid of Matt Grobelny. He's going to get around the 88, actually. And coming back to the front with a head of steam, not wasting any time. Here comes the 141, Grego Berry. That's going to put Millen and it looks like possibly Leach to the outside. So Berry going to have maybe the better option here as he sits to the inside on Jamie Leach. But Leach holds strong to that outside. 4 fresh tires for both these drivers might be able to make the outside work. But Cody Levitt goes high in turn 4. Tim Smith going to go right back around him. Now he's in danger because here comes the 54. Here comes Orlando Rivera. So Tim Smith going to lead the first lap back to green flag as Levitt actually is pulling strong to the outside, but Tim Smith going to beat him by just the splitter of that IROC back to the start-finish line. Levitt going to take a high entry into turn 1. He'll lose the lead. He'll lose second because Orlando Rivera is going to go around him. Now he's going to get back to the in line there. He'll find a home in the third spot right in front of Matt Krobelny. They're battling it out back here, though. Here comes Dobbs. Leach is still stuck to the outside, so it really shows you if you get put on the outside, it could be a long night out there tonight for a lot of these guys. Look at him as you hear him coming. Here comes Cody Levitt. He's going to peek out a line. He's going to try and go to the outside of Rivera. No way he can make it around the outside of Rivera, so Rivera then going to jump up and block him. They're going into the corner. Nobody's actually able to make a move. Here comes Cody Levitt. He's going to try a crossover in between turn 3 and 4. He doesn't have the momentum, but a 4-car little breakaway at the front of this one with Grego Berry hanging on back there just a little bit back, about 4 or 5 car lengths off the back bumper there of Matt Krobelny. Coming off turn number 4, though, as you see Tim Smith way down to the inside there, still trying to break the draft. Levitt stays up high. Rivera follows Smith. Is he going to send it down into turn number 1? Orlando Rivera playing it a little bit smart there, had the opportunity to possibly get to the inside on Tim Smith, but he elected to back her off just a little bit and live for another corner. Still 4 cars, 5, 6 cars now about to join the front pack. There they come, snaking down the backstretch once again. There you see actually 5, 6 cars down to the inside lane. Matt Krobelny trying to get around Levitt. Levitt does a little blocking. Here comes Levitt. He's going to jump to the inside of turn 3 on Orlando Rivera. In the middle of 3, it still looks like Orlando Rivera hanging on to the 54 machine. He has the spot. Levitt wants the spot door to door in turn number 4. As they come out of turn number 4, Levitt's going to have the spot. Now Orlando's going to try and hold off the number 4 here of Matt Krobelny. Let's check it out at the start-finish line. Tim Smith going to lead his 8th lap here at Indianapolis. Levitt has the 2nd spot. Rivera had 3rd at the line. Krobelny had 4th. They're not just battling here in the front. Looks like Jamie Leach jumping to the inside here on Jason Dobbs. That's the battle for 7th. They're making it work, and now everybody just about single files out. You got 2 teammates, Donald Bennett and Josiah Millen, battling for the 10th spot. Looks like the 05, Timmy Valenzuela, now starting to come back out on track, but he's going to be well down off the pace. As right now it's showing about 20 miles an hour different from your leaders back to Timmy Valenzuela. There you see that over-the-wall racing 05 there with Timmy Valenzuela well off the pace. As Levitt slips going into 3, that'll open up the door. Orlando Rivera going to fill it. Here comes Matt Krobelny, and then Hunter Conley's actually right there, too, to take the inside lane. As you see him down the front stretch, it looks like Levitt going to lose only 2 positions on the exchange for the time being, but Hunter Conley is blinking a little bit behind that 38 machine there of Levitt. Grego Berry going to try and put his nose to the inside here on the 7. They're going to go 3 wide, risky business, turn number 1. Levitt to the outside. Conley in the middle, and O'Berry hanging on to the inside. 3 wide racing, and they are, whoa, look at Levitt way up high. Levitt going to go way up the track. Now here comes Dobbs. He's joined the battle. Dobbs has the nose ahead of the 38 of Levitt. That's 6th and 7th. As these guys all battled it out 3 wide, your leaders were able to sneak out to about a 1.3, 1.5 second lead. There you see it. Tim Smith's now out in front of Orlando Rivera by a half second. Then it's Matt Krobelny on the back bumper there on the 54. But actually a car length and a half now as Krobelny went to back the corner up to see if he could get a great run, catch the 54, give him a shot down the straightaway. You see it, actually, Orlando Rivera, Matt Krobelny starting to gain really quick on the back bumper there of Tim Smith, so they're going to be there in just a moment. It's going to be a 3-car breakaway at the front, and then it's a 4-car, 5-car gaggle just behind them. About a second and a half, almost actually 2 seconds now, back to Grego Berry. Grego Berry leads that little pack there of 4 cars, as here comes Matt Krobelny. He's not content sitting behind Orlando Rivera, so they're going to go side by side down into corner number 2. You hear the motors turning. You hear the ambition, the little bit of how they want to push. Matt Krobelny going to side draft off Orlando Rivera, try and pull him back. But as they do that, actually, Grego Berry is starting to close in. and Tim Smith starting to pull away. Grobelny going to slide up in front of Rivera. Rivera possibly looking to pull the crossover here in between turns 3 and 4. Now Orlando Rivera going to open up that little door that it was a crack, and he just busted it wide open and said, Grobelny, if you're going to pass me, pass me. If you're going to leave the door open, I'm coming back around you. But hey, look out the front windshield right now. Tim Smith starting to pull away. This is the view from Greg O'Berry. There you see the dummy light on the dash lit up. Off into the corner, a little bit of a lift, a little bit of a sideways action. You see the hands moving back and forth. They may be only doing about 150 down into turn number 1, but it's still a handful. It's only a 7-inch tire on these cars out here tonight. And with the track temp up over 100 degrees, 114, we're up 1 degree as Orlando Rivera is out of shape out of turn number 2. Orlando Rivera losing a lot of momentum there. That's going to extend Tim Smith as he goes up there to side draft Grobelny to try and pull him back to him. But as these guys really battle, look at that. They're starting to lose ground to Tim Smith, and here comes Greg O'Berry starting to close the deal. Grobelny down into corner number 3. He's going to lose the front end of that car. He'll slide up. Hunter Conley, though, how about him? He's pushing the daylights out of Greg O'Berry, and it doesn't look like Dobbs is trying to fill the hole right now. He knows they got to stay in line to see if they can run down the group ahead of them, and then maybe they can all get together and run down Tim Smith, because that boy is quick out here tonight. The Casey Kane racer, the 000 out of the Ohio region. Tim Smith has a 1-second lead over Matt Grobelny, who is still getting all sorts of pressure from the Puerto Rico native Orlando Rivera. Well, we just talked about it out in chat. There it is. Vols Nation is strong here tonight as Matt Grobelny opens the door once again, slides up the track out of turn number 2. Now that backpack, those 5 cars have now caught second and third places. They are side by side. What's O'Berry going to do once they come down here into turn number 3? Because here comes Orlando Rivera. He's going to look to the inside. As an early move by Hunter Conley out of line. Looked for a moment like he was going to get to the inside on Greg O'Berry. He didn't quite get there. Greg O'Berry slammed the door to stay behind the 54 of Orlando Rivera. And boy, oh boy, the racing we have seen here at the Brickyard. Right now, these guys working on lap. Oh, is Hunter Conley. Big slide off turn 4. Matt Grobelny just about brushing the wall. They're still too wide. And look at the big block to the inside. Grobelny going to throw a huge block on his teammate there at Conley. That'll link those 2 backwoods racers up. Contact down into 1. Door slam there from Conley to O'Berry. It's going to shove O'Berry up the track a little bit out of the groove. Now here comes Dobbs and Vols Nation. No, Vols Nation not going to be able to take the opening there to the inside on Conley as Conley sideways out of turn number 2. He's going to go 3 wide down the backstretch. Conley to the inside. O'Berry's in the middle. Teammate to the outside as they're figuring it out. O'Berry's going to lift a little bit. He'll fall back behind Matt Grobelny. Down into turn number 3, though, it's still the 54 to the inside. Here comes the 4 of Grobelny to the outside. Then it's going to be Conley inside and O'Berry outside. Here comes Dobbs. He's looking to the inside out of 3. Nowhere for Dobbs to go, and just that little short shoot right there before we head off into turn number 4. Rivera starting to stretch his legs now, but starting to stretch anything. That's the lead. Tim Smith out now as these guys battle real hard for your second and third spot. Look at them snaking all down the backstretch. The front stretch. The action's so crazy here from the Brickyard. You get the straightaways, you get the corners a little mixed up. It all looks the same until you see the yard of bricks at the start-finish line. Down into 1, though. Looks like Conley going to go high. Here comes 54, and here comes actually... Oh, boy, it looked for a moment like possibly Conley had the crossover and the inside momentum, but 54, Orlando Rivera slams the door, and he'll protect to the inside. That's going to actually give the draft to the 985 of Dobbs. Look at Conley try and sway and deke out the 54 of Orlando Rivera. You see the cloud cover as they go into turn number 3. To the back bumper, the 7 goes to the 54. Both of them a little bit sideways out of the corner. Just a little bit of wiggle out of both rear ends of those cars. 2.6 second lead for Tim Smith. We're not even going to worry about Tim Smith. We know right there he is. You can see him as we come to the front stretch because here comes Hunter Conley. Here comes Jason Dobbs. There goes Greg O'Berry. They're all going to freight train to the inside possibly here on the 54. They know if they can push him to the outside, he might go backwards like a rock in water. working lap number 20, and Dobbs actually slips off the inside lane. Orlando Rivera sideways across the field. He hangs onto it. Nobody makes contact. He's going to lose a lot of spots. He'll fall to the back of the train here, and can he actually catch the draft and stay with these? Hunter Conley, actually that's Mac Robelny in the number 4, sideways out of 2 once again. It's getting later and later here into the tire run for these gentlemen as Jason Dobbs going to throw to the inside here on the 141 of Greg O'Berry down the backstretch. A little blinking issue there for the number 7 of Hunter Conley. He's there, he's gone, he's back again. It's the boy wonder, the bridesmaid, right now running in second. 3.3 second gap to your leader of Tim Smith. It looks like the 79 here of Patrick Smith. Oh, contact to O'Berry and Grobelny going around off turn number 4. They're sitting in the wrong direction. Grobelny, oh, they're sitting ducks in the middle of the track. Nobody makes contact. Look at the 62 Colton Farrow, Donald Bennett in there, and Josiah Millen making an evasive action moves. Boy, oh boy, that could have been bad as it gets tight there on the front stretch. Let's throw her back and watch her from over top. You see it, O'Berry into the outside wall. Grobelny nowhere to go. They make contact. Everybody else makes it through. It looked like the 88 there, Jamie Leach, hit the cone and sent the cone flying. And then everybody else just kind of piling in here. They all woed her up. Good driving by all these drivers. Let's actually take it back a little ways here and see if we can. That's not far enough. We need a little bit farther back here. Let's go on board here with the 62, Colton Farrow. He's back here battling with Millen and Bennett back here for the 9th, 10th, and 11th position at the time of incident here. You see it, all the smoke out in front. Colton Farrow off the gas. You hear him, he's coasting, he's coasting. All of a sudden, there's Greg O'Berry. There's Mac Robelny. He barely squeaks through there to save his life. That could have been the end of the night for a couple of those gentlemen, but they all hung on to those cars, and they made it work somehow. So 2 cars getting collected. Greg O'Berry now, I believe, being involved in both the incidents here early on, but we were just about getting ready to make it to our green flag pit stops, but it looks like the 31, Donald Bennett, might be staying out here to possibly get a lap led. Everybody else coming down pit road. So Bennett going to go around the entire field as they all come down the long pit road here. He'll lead a lap. He'll notch his name into that book. Looks like Josh Taylor is still sitting on pit road with the front end torn off that 01 machine. So it's a pretty disappointing night for the 01 of Taylor. Won last week's race, this week being taken out a little bit earlier than he would have liked to. Well, as he sits on pit road, let's see if we can just get a word in with the driver of the 01, Josh Taylor. You got a copy. It's Roger here in the booth. Josh Taylor, got a copy. It's Roger here in the booth. Well, not able to get communication with Josh Taylor, but I believe the 38 of Cody Levitt was your winner once again off pit road. He's been having some quick stops there with the 38. He'll come out ahead of Tim Smith. We didn't get to see that live. Let's actually just back it up and see it right there. You saw the gap distance. Cody Levitt sitting in his box. We'll rewind it one more time here. Tim Smith is down and away, but he does a long burnout, and Cody Levitt just noses him at the line there. So Cody Levitt going to come out in first. Donald Bennett still sitting out there as we watch from the fans' point of view here around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Bennett is actually leading his lap, and he's actually down pit road there. You see that orange machine. So once Bennett comes to pit road here like he is, it'll be Cody Levitt, Tim Smith, Jason Dobbs, Josiah Millen, Jamie Leach, Orlando Rivera, Hunter Conley, Matt Grobelny, Greg O'Berry, and the 62 of Colton Farrow. Well, as we talked about the move that we just saw there, coming to the yellow flag, the 62 of Colton Farrow taking that evasive actions. Let's see if we get a word in with driver of the 62 of Colton Farrow. Colton Farrow, you got a copy. It's Muth in the booth up here.
How's it going, Roger?
Well, it's going really good up here in the booth, but down there in the driver's seat of that 62 Aqua machine, that was probably clinching for you out of turn number 4.
Yeah, I lost sight of where they were, and I was trying to slow down, and the next thing I knew, they were right in my face, so I just sent it and hoped.
Yeah, sent it and hoped. It looked like it was a clinching moment. Did you see the night kind of flash before your eyes as you kind of shot the gap?
Yeah, absolutely. I saw a P break in my future, too, if I didn't make it, but, now I'm still stuck here.
You're still stuck here with us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, and, well, you're sitting in the 10th spot at this point of the race. How racy is the 62 here tonight?
If I make top 10, I'll be pretty happy. This track it's a blast, but it's not my fastest track.
A lot of guys out there were referring to this track can kind of relate over to the style that Pocono kind of brings to the track and, kind of races like Pocono. Do you feel that out there on track? Because we know you have a couple wins at Pocono.
Yeah, it does kind of feel that way. The turns kind of just feel like the tunnel turn every single time, but I just can't seem to hit them consistently.
Yeah, it's 4 corners, so 4 times every lap. You got to be perfect. We've seen a lot of guys stuck to the outside. Is that the place not to be here tonight?
Yeah, you hit that outside and you're losing a few spots, absolutely.
Well, there you heard it. 62, Colton Farrow. Inside lane seems to be where you want to be. Colton Farrow, Darrell Claude are part of that coast to almost coast team out there. Right now, Colton runs in the 10th spot. Darrell, well, he led his lap. Right now, he runs in the 14th spot. So we're going to line them up. Double file here on the restart. Not quite to the halfway point. Still 52 laps here around Indianapolis. Still got 17 drivers in the lobby. 1 driver disconnected. That was Patrick Smith. He still sits, I believe. I was going to say for a moment he still sits here in TeamSpeak, but he has decided to leave the TeamSpeak, so it looks like the 79 here of Patrick Smith going to head to the shed. He'll get ready for Rockingham next week. A little bit of a big, I say a little bit, but it's a big change as we go from this 2.5-mile track down to that little short track. So Patrick Smith out of the race. Josh Taylor still sitting in his 01 machine, getting repairs done. He's been sitting there for 26 minutes here so far. David Carman having, I believe, a little bit of issues with his rig here tonight as he joined the lobby. So he did not start, and I actually have seen him since also pack up his hauler and head over to Rockingham. So as they come through turn number 4, as we are still watching here from the fans' perspective, we're about to go back to green flag racing. We're waiting for the iRacing Mustang pace car to make the left-hand turn. There it does. Mustang off the track. We can get back to racing. Levitt fires off early again. So it's Levitt side by side with Tim Smith as they come underneath the flag stand. Green flag in the air back here on lap 25 here tonight. Levitt going to clear the pink posse driver, and then it's down into turn 1, just barely being able to close the door there on the 985 of Jason Dobbs. So 2 of your Keystone Motorsport drivers now inside the top 5. Question being, can they stay there as Levitt still holds the lead over Tim Smith? But it looks like Smith doesn't want to stay in second very long. He might want to go right around the 38 of Levitt. Down the backstretch they go. Your top 4, actually, give it your top 5 are just about single file. As actually here comes Orlando Rivera early and often. Orlando looking to the inside. Not enough momentum built up in the 54 just yet. But Hunter Conley going to jump to the inside on Jamie Leach. Josiah Millen sends it down there into turn 3. He'll miss his apex entry into the corner. So that'll throw then Orlando Rivera down to the inside. So it's a 3-car kind of breakaway for the time being. I expect that draft, though, once these two figure out who's going to take this 4th position right here at the line, though, Levitt going to lead the first lap back under green flag conditions. As Dobbs, I think, just peeked out a line. Dobbs going to go for P2 down into corner number 1. Tim Smith going to wisely, he just checks up. He throws the parachute out the back of the 000. Now he's going to try for a crossover on the exit here 1. No crossover from Tim Smith as we thought we were going to expect the crossover from Tim Smith. But right now, Smith going to elect to just kind of sit there and see what these boys can do out in front of him here tonight. Dobbs not settled just with second place. He got a good run off turn number 2. He's going to go to the inside here and try and pass your leader. Levitt going to go to the high side. Tim Smith for a moment looked like he was going to go with Levitt. Levitt decided, though, he'll stay high. Tim Smith going to clear Levitt. So now Jason Dobbs in the lead. Let's hear it, Vols Nation. Can he lead a lap? He has not put his name in the record book here from Indianapolis as he comes off turner number 4. He's going to hang her right in front of the 000 of Smith. Coming down this long front stretch, it looks like Jason Dobbs still holding on to the lead. Orlando Rivera back to the inside on Smith. Not quite, as here comes Smith now. Smith going to dive to the inside. Dobbs leads a lap, and that's all Tim Smith is going to let Jason Dobbs lead as he shoves him down into turn number 1. He'll put the Pink Posse 000 to the inside. Pink Posse 000 being stalked all night long by Orlando Rivera. Here comes Rivera trying to get underneath Jason Dobbs. The battling here from Indianapolis. What a race so far. Tim Smith going to go way down to the bottom. He's going to protect. Jason Dobbs going to follow him way down there. He's going to pass Orlando Rivera. Now can Dobbs get up? Dobbs does get up right in front of Orlando Rivera, but Dobbs not going to have a good entry into corner number 3. He's going to wash up high. Here comes Orlando Rivera. He's going to go to the inside. So Tim Smith has the lead once again here from Indianapolis, and they're going to go 2 by 2. Orlando Rivera going to get around. Here comes Josiah Millen. Jason Dobbs, though, hanging it sideways through 4. As they snake down the front stretch once again, back to the lead. Tim Smith, Orlando Rivera, and then it's side by side for the 3rd spot by 2 teammates. Keystone Motorsports, here they come. Josiah Millen, winning a couple of weeks ago from the Texas Motor Speedway, now finds himself running 3rd right in front of his teammate of Dobbs. But the bridesmaid Conley up here still hanging out, and here comes O'Berry. A lot of damage on the front end of the 141 of O'Berry, but like we said in the early going here of this race, you can beat these cars up a little bit, put them into the outside wall on these long 2-mile-plus tracks, and they're still gonna handle. Tim Smith just about down there into the garage, trying to snake his way down the backstretch away from Orlando Rivera. Orlando Rivera saying, you may have got the jump on us 2 times here, or 3rd time's a charm. I'm staying with you here, my friend. So nose to tail for the lead here, as they are pulling about a half second right now, just over the Josiah Millen and Dobbs freight train to the outside. Dobbs sideways on the outside groove. O'Berry and Conley to the inside. Those fresh tires on the number 40 and the 985 of Dobbs seem to really be making the outside lane work, because Dobbs is just pushing Millen. As here comes Orlando Rivera, though. We're talking about the guys behind them. Orlando Rivera's going to jump to the inside. That's going to punch a big hole in the air, so those guys that are behind these guys possibly going to get a good suck up and close the gap a little bit. So now Orlando Rivera going to go to P number 1 here, as Millen cleared the 7 there of Hunter Conley, and then Conley kind of split up the Keystone Motorsports train. And then Greg O'Berry also got in front of Jason Dobbs, but Dobbs going to look back to the inside out of turn number 2 down the long backstretch. Now your 3rd and 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th place drivers, as you see somebody way down the back there. That's the 99 of Darrell Cloner, way down almost into the apron there off turn number 2. But all these guys starting to sniff the draft here of Tim Smith and Orlando Rivera as they head down into turn number 3. Millen into the outside wall off turn 3. As Millen gets into the wall with the left front, that's going to send Hunter Conley to the inside, and actually it's going to allow your leaders who are nose to tail, that's going to allow them to get away. It's down to just about a 3-car length lead there for Tim Smith and Orlando Rivera, as actually it looks like Hunter Conley still having a little bit of blinking issues coming down the front stretch. Millen trying to push him, but with the blinking issues, making contact with the outside wall into turn 1. Millen into the outside wall off turn number 1 once again. At this point, I think the driver of the 40 may be a little rattled, as now he goes from running 3rd all the way back to the 6th spot. He'll find a spot in front of the 88 here of Jamie Leach, as Greg O'Berry's going to possibly try to the inside here on Jason Dobbs. He has a fender there. Now they're going to go door to door, down in 3. As they all battle it out back here for the 4th on back position. Hunter Conley started to pull away just a little bit from that group. He's trying to run down Tim Smith. If he can run consecutive laps, yes, we all know what we're trying to say here. He'll catch that 000 of Tim Smith. Sideways off the corner for the 7. Sideways for the 141. Orlando Rivera coming back. He's going to try to lead his second lap, as actually I think Tim Smith is just trying to push the daylights out of the 54 car. It doesn't look like he's actually trying to go around him at all. Hunter Conley, though, still hanging in there. Conley hanging it out off turn number 1. You see everybody behind him. Millen, Dobbs, they were sideways to the inside there on O'Berry. Then you got the deeper, darker dude teammates back here. Jamie Leach, Cody Levitt in your 7th and 8th position. 9th position, just kind of having a solid day inside the top 10. As you see, Donald Bennett just behind him into the outside wall. But that's Michael Whitaker. Michael Whitaker 707 machine out of New Jersey. They piece this car together every week and come out here to run on a Wednesday night with the Salt Flat IROC Series. Having a solid top 10 run right now. He runs 9th. Colin Fair, we talked to him as he barely squeezed his way through a little bit of a issue a little earlier. Runs in your 10th position. A rough day for somebody out there on track. That's going to be the 4 of Macro Belney, as he got in that little wreck with Greg O'Berry there on our second yellow flag stint. He is now dropped outside the top 10. He's running last place on the lead lap. That would be 15th place for number 4 here of Macro Belney. Out front, though, still going to be Orlando Rivera, Tim Smith, but take a look right behind Tim Smith. There it is, the bridesmaid himself starting to claw his way. And I said claw. He does drink a couple of those claws at home. That's the 7. As you see, he still has a little bit of the blinking issue, but he is hanging right there behind Tim Smith. Tim Smith going to jump to the inside here. He sees the 7 is coming. He knows it's time to put the loud pedal down, as Tim Smith trying to take back over the lead. So Tim Smith's going to take back over the lead here on lap 32. Now he knows we're about possibly halfway through the fuel run, so he's going to try and stretch his legs a little bit here in that Pink Posse 000. So right now, this time off turn 4, it's going to go Smith, Rivera, Conley, your top 3. You see them right there. Then it's Dobbs, Millen, Leach, Levitt, O'Berry as they hang out just behind those guys. As Hunter Conley actually into the outside wall. It looked like he tried to really arc that car into the corner, and he actually seems like he might have actually got a good chunk of that turn 1 wall. Didn't seem to knock any speed out of that 7 backwoods car. He's hanging right there. Right there, just a half second back from Tim Smith. Just about 2 car lengths off the back bumper of Orlando Rivera. As you see everybody behind them, though, they're still battling it out back there. Dobbs leading the train with Millen to the outside, because here comes Leach and Levitt to the inside. Put the deeper, darker dude teammates to the inside, trying to make their way around them. So Millen going to be stuck to the outside. Leach is going to split the Keystone Motorsports team, but as he splits the Keystone Motorsports team, that kind of splits him and Cody Levitt up. Greg O'Berry's still hanging back here behind him. As here comes the 88 of Leach. He's going to look to the inside here on Dobbs. That'll be the battle for the 4th position at the Art of Bricks. Give it to the 88 of Leach. Here comes the 38 of Levitt looking to the inside as he backs off. He's going to allow, look at the 3 different lines through turn 1. Dobbs taking the high lane. Millen sideways off of turn number 1 right in front of Cody Levitt. Boy, oh boy, the racing we've seen, and actually we missed it. Here comes Hunter Conley. He had a great run. Actually, he's right now 2 miles an hour faster than Orlando Rivera down the backstretch, so Conley got a great run. He took advantage of it by going to the inside here. Orlando Rivera going to have to give over the 2nd place position for the time being. You saw him back up that corner pretty far out, actually, and allow the 7 of Conley to go right around him. Slipping and sliding here to come off turn number 4. It's going to be Tim Smith about a half second out in front of Hunter Conley and Orlando Rivera, who are duking it out back here for the 2nd and 3rd position. Tim Smith going to go to the inside. He's going to try and take that big hole that he's punching out in front of these guys and make them try and work a little bit harder to get back to him. And working hard is what they're doing. Orlando Rivera pushing Conley down into turn number 1. 41 laps to go. Looking at the timing and scoring here, 13 laps on these tires. Expect probably here in the next maybe 2 to 3 laps. There's another blink issue there for some of your leaders. As actually Hunter Conley has just about caught back up to Tim Smith. He jumped out to a little over a half-second lead. Now it's just down to about 2 car lengths lead. The freight train still behind them, 3, almost 4 seconds back, now being led by the number 40 here of Josiah Millen. Jason Dobbs to the outside, Jamie Leach on the inside, Greg O'Berry there with Cody Levitt. That's still your top 8 positions. Whitaker still sitting in 9th. Farrow is 10th. Bennett is 11th. And Jared Hagedorn is working the outside of the 31 there of Bennett. Nicholas Bieber back here running in your 13th spot. Macro Belney hanging on to the back of them. And then it's Darrell Clauder in your 15th running spot. Side by side still up here. Oh, almost contact between the 88 as Orlando Rivera. Something happened to Orlando Rivera. We missed it. Orlando Rivera was way up the groove, out of shape, in the wall, lost the top 2 drivers. Millen into the outside fence. We didn't see it live, but they're going to go 3 wide. Here comes Levitt. Levitt backs out of it. Dobbs backs out of it. They're going to let Greg O'Berry have the 4th position. Jamie Leach way high to the outside. Levitt now going to go side by side. So now that this whole little battle back here kind of jumbled them up, and it's going to bring actually Michael Whitaker within just a couple car lengths of this group. So now it's Greg O'Berry in 4th, Cody Levitt in 5th, Dobbs in 6th, Leach in 7th, Millen's 8th, and right there, about, we'll call it 10 car lengths back, is going to be that man, Michael Whitaker, Colton Farrow. They're coming to the dance because with all those cars in front of them, it's going to punch a hole. It's going to bring those drivers right into the mix. But look right in front of them. Contact between Dobbs and O'Berry. They were literally Siamese twins through turn number 1. Levitt, though, got around the group, and he's trying to run away and hide as O'Berry comes off corner number 2, sideways, slipping and sliding. Almost at the halfway point here tonight from Indianapolis, and pit stops are going to just about start. Probably put it 2-3 laps from now. Everybody's going to be ducking down pit road. It's not going to be just a 1 pit stop race from this point. You're still going to need a handful of laps and stops before the end of this one. Probably looking at least 2 stops from this point on yet. So these guys starting to single file as Greg O'Berry is really hanging the rear end, the right rear, leaning on that right rear. 7-inch tire coming off turn 4, hot, slick. It's 115 track degree temp as they run here on lap 38. Working lap 38 next time by. We're going to get the halfway to go signal. 2 guys still out front. It's still Tim Smith leading the way here over the number 7 here of Hunter Conley. Then you see just behind them going to be the 54, Orlando Rivera with that right front damage. Then a little bit farther back, it's the gaggle of cars from the 4th position on back. 4th, 5th. Here comes Dobbs to the inside. They're just not content running single file. These guys are just duking it out, throwing the haymakers, throwing, I don't want to say the slide jobs in the corner, but they're sliding up in front of each other out of the corner because they are sliding everywhere on corner exit. And it looks like Tim Smith going to hit pit road. It looks like Hunter Conley coming right along with him. So your 2 leaders down pit road. Actually, it looks like a couple other takers. The 54, Orlando Rivera, is down. The 62, Colton Farrow, is down. That'll turn the lead over to this group right here. Jason Dobbs, Cody Levitt, Greg O'Berry, Jamie Leach, Josiah Millen, Michael Whitaker. That's right, Michael Whitaker right there. Now running in your 6th spot. O'Berry sideways once again off turn number 2. Jason Dobbs leading him. Looks like 16 laps there for Tim Smith. Let's see how long these guys is. Look at them all sideways. Levitt sideways. O'Berry was sideways. Dobbs was sideways. Bunch of Skittles just going absolutely sideways off turn number 2. The tires on these cars are absolutely garbage at this point with these track temps at 115. O'Berry gonna slam doors with Millen. O'Berry is sideways. He'll hang on to the 141. He's still trying to gather it up though. Greg O'Berry slamming doors with the 40 of Millen. Both of them going to be A-OK. There they go. Looks like Dobbs actually slowing down early. He's going to bring it down pit road nice and easy. Cody Levitt going to stay out. Jamie Leach. So it looks like Keystone Motorsports going to turn over the lead here. Millen and Dobbs down pit road. Levitt and Leach, though, going to stay out here with O'Berry and Whitaker. So where are your leaders, everybody is asking? Because right there is the 54 of Orlando Rivera. He's going to lose a lap here. Colton Farrow going to lose a lap. Nicholas Bieber going to lose a lap. But look, right out in front of these guys, you saw it just out of the corner of the eye. There's your leaders. They are finally onto the backstretch, doing 130 miles an hour as Tim Smith, as everybody behind them doing, well, identical, 130 miles an hour. But they're nose to tail. Tim Smith, Hunter Conley not yet linked up to try and pull away. Looks like 7 drivers have yet to come down. That's Hagedorn, Grobelny, Bennett, Whitaker, O'Berry, Leach, and Levitt. Probably going to come down this time by. I don't know if you can stretch your fuel any farther than 18 laps, coming here to lap number 19. We're going to find out here in just a second. As there you see, here comes Levitt. Here comes Leach. O'Berry's going to stay out. And here comes Michael Whitaker. He's coming down pit road also. Here comes Jared Hagedorn, Macro Belney, Donald Bennett, everybody hard onto the brakes down pit road. So that leaves one man out there, stretching it the farthest. Can he make it back around here? I'm not sure. We're going to find out. That's Greg O'Berry. Greg O'Berry out here trying to stretch the fuel in that 141 machine as far as it will take him. Remember, Greg O'Berry, though, he's been sitting back in that draft for a very long time. So while Greg O'Berry sat back there in the draft, he was able to save fuel. And right now, he actually is turning still a pretty good mile an hour all by himself down that backstretch into turn number 3. There you see Tim Smith going by us. There you see Hunter Conley going by us. And then there's your leader. He looks like he should be able to make it back onto pit road here under his own power. So that's good to see that he can stretch the fuel this far. It might get him right to the end. As you see him, you hear him down off the pace. Here comes Greg O'Berry down pit road. So Greg O'Berry, that'll be the last car to come down pit road. Tim Smith is actually going around the rest of your leaders, which was Cody Levitt, Jamie Leach, as they're still sitting on pit road. Tick, 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 tick. A lot of fuel going into 38, the 88. There they come. They're finally dropping the jack on the 38. 38-11 is down and away. Jamie Leach is right there. Here comes the other group of cars. Jason Dobbs, Colton Farrow, and Josiah Millen. They will pass the Deeper Darker Do team. So right now, Greg O'Berry is still shown as your leader as he's coming down onto pit road. He's not at his box just yet. There he is. He stops on his box. Now, here comes Tim Smith. Where is Smith on the track, you ask? He's going through turn 3 right now. Greg O'Berry is still sitting there, He's going to be there for a good while. Everybody that just came down pit road took about 50 seconds there. So expect him to be right around the 50-second marker. He's just at 20 in his box now. Just at 20. Tim Smith coming by the entry to pit road. He now has about a half-second gap, almost a 2-second gap back to Hunter Conley. So Tim Smith, after the first round of pit stops, he's going to take over the lead. But as Greg O'Berry sits in his pit box there, waiting, he is now at the 40-second marker. 10 more seconds before the drop will jack for the 141 of Greg O'Berry. Remember, next time, he won't have to wait as long because he already has more fuel than any other driver out there. So he'll be able to short pit possibly next time by as the drop has jacked on Greg O'Berry. He's back out onto the access road coming out of pit road. So after it all breaks down here under our first green flag pit stops here from Indianapolis, let's see if we can get a breakdown. There it is. The 000 Tim Smith is now out front with a 2.2-second lead over Hunter, the bridesmaid Conley, running in second. Orlando Rivera came into the pits running third. He comes out of the pits running third, but instead of just being about 3 seconds back, now he's 6.5 seconds back behind Tim Smith. Then it's Jason Dobbs sitting in your 4th spot, and he's not by himself. He has a little bit of a trio, I guess, if you will, counting himself. Dobbs is running 4th with Farrow in 5th. Millen runs in the 6th spot, and Levitt just behind this group of cars. He might have a draft, as he's about actually a 1.5 seconds behind the 40 of Josiah Millen, and then it's another 1.5 seconds back, so you find Cody Levitt's teammate there of the 88 of Jamie Leach. Nicholas Bieber actually is the biggest mover on this round of pit stops. He pitted 2 laps before, or actually, sorry. He actually came down with your leaders. So he actually gained a bunch of positions by coming to pit road early. He was running in your 13th spot coming into pit road. Now runs inside the top 10, running 9th. Michael Whitaker runs in your 10th position. The gap to the leader for Michael Whitaker, though, is a large one, 21.5 seconds back to Michael Whitaker. Mac Robelny right behind him, running 11th. Then it's a little bit farther back. You find the number 2 here, Jared Hagedorn, and the 31 of Donald Bennett. How about Greg O'Berry? He stretched it the farthest out of everybody, except he had to wait the longest on pit road. It took him 10 seconds longer down pit road than anybody else. He went from running in your 5th spot, leading when everybody pitted, all the way back to the 14th spot, 27.5 seconds behind the leaders. You know what 27 seconds behind your leaders looks like? Look at it, right there. You can't even see the leaders out of the front windshield for Greg O'Berry. It's going to be a long day. We're going to have to see how the strategy is going to play out here for driver of the 141. He has laps led. He has the bonus points in his favor. But the man who's now stretching it out even farther, about 3.5 seconds right now on the timing and scoring, it's showing us Tim Smith is absolutely setting a blistering pace. He's the fastest driver out on track by about a second right now. So as he works off corner number 4, he's gonna see the flag stand way down in front. That'll give Tim Smith 26 laps that Pink Posse 000 has been out front, and that's just kind of been the song and dance of the year so far. Tim Smith really having figured out how to drive these IROCs. It doesn't matter where we go, if it's a short track like Myrtle Beach or Rockingham or Richmond, or even these bigger tracks. I mean, think about it. Back to Daytona, back-to-back season opener wins for Tim Smith. A 5-wide pass last year. This year it wasn't so as exciting for him as they still went side-by-side for the win at Daytona. It doesn't matter where we go. The Pink Posse 000, Tim Smith, Casey Kane racing machine always finds themselves out front. The backwoods driver, Hunter Conley, well, he's in the position he has always been in. Hunter Conley, if I'm going to have to look up the stat for next week. How many times has Hunter Conley finished second in the Salt Flat IROC Series is the question. This season alone, Hunter Conley has only actually finished second once this season. That was all the way back at Daytona when he finished second to the guy who's out in front of him. Looking at Hunter Conley's stats, it's been an up and down year for the bridesmaid himself. He qualified P1 all the way back at Daytona. He finished second. Then they headed over to the Texas Oval. He started in your 6th spot, but wrapped up in an early incident, and he did not get to finish the race, finished in your 30th spot. Then we headed over to Myrtle Beach. He had a 5th place starting spot, finished in your 8th spot. 10th place start at Auto Club, then he finished 17th there. A 3rd place start at Atlanta, finished 26th after being wrapped up in a big wreck on the front stretch. 13th last time that Hunter Conley, as he missed last week, as he was also at the Action Track Raceway in Pennsylvania. He started 13th though at Phoenix and finished 14th. It was a rough one from Phoenix International Raceway for the 7 of Hunter Conley. Right now though, not so rough. It is a rough distance all the way to that man who finds himself out front. 3.5 second gap from Tim Smith to Hunter Conley. Josh Taylor is back out on track with that 01 machine. If he can pick up, looks like 16 laps, which he does have over 16 laps left in this race, as they got the front end back up on the 01 Taylor machine. Needs 16 laps before he finds the 05 of Timmy Valenzuela, who was still having hardware issues on his rig. He had disconnected. He ran 16th at the time of disconnection. He's still running 16th as Josh Taylor, as we see right there. Camber's all out of whack, a little wonky on the 01 machine, but he needs to pick up one position. Not sure what happened to Nicholas Bieber, but he's down pit road. We're going to have to see if we can go back on a replay here. We see what happened to Nicholas Bieber. It looks like off turn 4, a little bit sideways for the BeastRacing.com driver. Let's check it out. This is the replay. What happened? Into the wall, tried to gather it up. Was running inside the top 10 at the time of that. Down off the racing surface as iRacing considers that the pit road entry. So now Nicholas Bieber looks like the motor has expired on the BeastRacing.com 82 machine. So it might be a rough one to the finish for him. We're going to have to see if he's even going to be able to get back out on the racing surface. Josh Taylor, though, we were talking about, that 01 machine last week's winner, he spent 46 minutes on pit road getting the front end of the motor repaired on the 01 machine. Now back out on track. He just has to try and milk it around 15 more laps before he can pick up a position. Tim Smith still leading the way with Hunter Conley in second. Orlando Rivera sitting 10 seconds back, running right there in your third position. Then it's Dobbs Nation in fourth with Josiah Millen in fifth. Colton Farrell right there, all nose to tail. A little bit farther back, seventh place and eighth place. That's the two teammates, the Deeper Darker Do team, Cody Levitt, Jamie Leach. They run 15 seconds, a little over 15 and a half seconds actually back behind your leader. And then you got to go a little bit farther back, 7 seconds behind Jamie Leach. You find this battle back here for the 9th and 10th spot. Michael Whitaker, Matt Grobelny. Working a lap 49 now here for Tim Smith. Pink Posse Nation running away with her here tonight. 30 laps already led for Tim Smith. No other driver out there even into the double digits tonight. Yeah, it looks like an early night. I did get confirmation now here for Nicholas Beaver that he is pretty much done here for the night in the 82 machine. We'll see here in a moment if we can actually catch up with him after he gets out of the infield care center with a rough hit for him down against the inside wall. So as Tim Smith still continues to dominate this one, these are your two closest stacked up cars, if you will, to each other. That's Josiah Millen, Jason Dobbs, who run fourth and fifth. And then Colton Farrell starting to lose a little bit of the handle on the 62 machine. He's starting to fall a little bit farther back. Well, I believe we have established communications with the 82 here at Nicholas Bieber. Bieber, you got a copy. It's Muth in the booth.
Yeah, what's up, Roger?
Well, I know it's not the way that you want to hear from us up in the booth, but tell us what happened there off turn number 4 on that 82 machine.
I got into the throttle a little early. It got tight, hit the wall, and there was no correcting it, and it just shot me to the inside wall. Luckily, I didn't affect no one else or cause a caution, and got it towed to the pits, and it's done for the night. I got loaded on the trailer.
Yeah, loaded on the trailer. How much damage once you got the tow to pit road was there? How long would it have taken to put the 82 back together to get her out on track?
About 45 minutes.
45 minutes of repair. We've seen another driver out there tonight, another one of those Rookie of the Year candidates that you're actually battling, the 01 of Josh Taylor. Had a good starting spot here tonight, but wrapped up in an early one. He spent 46 minutes down pit road, but 46 minutes, 45 minutes for yourself, that's a long time to sit around and wait.
Yeah, it is, but, I mean, we have the determination. We're out here having fun and having a blast. And, I mean, it is what it is.
Is what it is. How did you feel, though, coming in here to the famous Indianapolis Brickyard? You know, the likes of Dale Earnhardt, Mario Andretti, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, and a slew of other drivers have been here in real life, and you get to come here in the virtual reality Brickyard and run the IROCs that haven't ran here since right around the year 2002.
I mean, I came in with good hopes and I was going to have fun either way, and during practice I was struggling, and because I couldn't really practice with the cars. My work schedule's been hectic, but I was struggling in practice. Finally got under grips, had good, decent qualifying, was running good in the race, and I was just having a blast. I was trying to keep an open mind and hope. I was just going to keep off people and have fun.
Yeah, keep off people. It seems like some pretty good racing so far out there. A couple guys like yourself were hanging it out there. How much fuel was left in that 82 machine before she found the wall here?
I still had a good 3-4 gallons left, so I had a while I could have gone. Well, I just got done that stop, so I stopped with all the leaders. So.
And your leader's probably about 4 or 5 laps possibly away from coming back down pit road. And just doing the simple math in my head, it's going to be very tight to the end. If they pit here, they might actually have to pit one more stop. But Nick, hey, a rough night for the BeastRacing.com 82 machine. Before we let you go, as we see Colton Farrow actually sideways out of the corner there behind the Millen machine. Is there anybody you got to thank for the 82 machine out here at Indianapolis?
I want to thank you, Salt Flat Racing guys, for putting this on and hosting a good league. Of course, Beast Racing, all of the Beast Racing sponsors. I forgot them off the top of my head. And definitely like you and for having a good broadcast, and Timmy and Danny for putting it on and all that.
Well, there you heard it from the driver of the 82, Nick Bieber. Not going to finish this one out. 45 minutes of repair for the BeastRacing.com machine. So he'll load her on the trailer like he said, but I believe pit stops are starting to happen. Hunter Conley going to bring her down pit road here. He'll be the first one of your leaders down pit road. Doesn't look like anybody else has been down just yet. So here the musical chairs are going to start to happen. Tim Smith well out in front. Right now he's halfway down the backstretch. Orlando Rivera, who is running second, not even out of turn number 2 yet. So there's a hole just about straightaway. Let's go on board and see if we can even see. You can't even see Tim Smith out there at the end of the straightaway. He is that far out in front. But something I do see is this pack, Jason Dobbs, Josiah Millen, who have just decided to go nose to tail along with Colton Farrow. They have run down Orlando Rivera just about a second behind. And yeah, it's starting to get closer to time to come down pit road. Hunter Conley still sitting there. It's going to be a full fuel load here for these guys. And here comes Tim Smith, though. He's not going to be outdone by Hunter Conley. If Conley's going to start the Congo line, here comes Tim Smith. As actually, I believe then it's going to bring some other drivers down. Orlando Rivera is the other taker, so all your leaders, your top 3 leaders, down pit road first. Hunter Conley is out there circling the speedway. There he is. He's trying to come up to speed. He's going to come off turn number 2 ahead of your leaders with a good distance between himself and them, only about a 3-mile-an-hour difference as your leaders worked off the corner there, so he should be relatively okay and not in any type of harm to go a lap down. Looks like the Congo line going to switch ways here, maybe a little team strategy. Everybody for the Keystone Motorsports Group has led a lap here, so Millen going to go right around Dobbs as they're about a lap away from bringing those machines down pit road. So Millen going to go to the lead here on lap 54 before pit stops. And there it is. You see the Keystone Motorsport groups. They are going to stay out there. Who will be the next one to come down pit road is going to be the question, because Millen, Dobbs, Farrow, Leach, Levitt, they all stay out. Whitaker stays out. Grobelny. Where is Bennett, Hagedorn, and O'Berry? They're back here battling it out. Remember, O'Berry pitted. He was the last one to pit, and he has now run down these two right ahead of him. So he has the most fuel still left, and he's only actually about 3/4 of the way through his fuel run in the 141 machine. The question is going to be, as he works to the inside there on Donald Bennett, that'll take over the 8th position there for Greg O'Berry. When will O'Berry pit next? Where are your leaders, do you wonder? There they are, nose to tail. Orlando Rivera, though, having a long stop, something a little bit slower down pit lane. It looks like 1 minute and 18 seconds from end to end on pit road for the 54 driver. Going to drop him a lap down for the time being until we possibly can cycle through. Here comes Keystone Motorsports, Josiah Millen, Jason Dobbs coming down pit road. Hard on the brakes. You see Dobbs all out of shape trying to lower up to this pit road speed limit. They're 60 miles an hour down pit road here. So Keystone Motorsports coming down. Colton Farrow going to take over the lead. That'll put Colton Farrow into the books here. He'll lead a lap. So the Coast to Almost Coast team leading a lap each. The Keystone Motorsports team leading laps each. And I believe the guys who run second and third right now possibly looking to try and do the same thing. Cody Levitt has led a lap here. Jamie Leach has not. Levitt leading 7 laps here in the early going of this. He now runs in your 3rd position. So people who have made pit stops, that's Millen, Dobbs, Clauder, Smith, Conley, Rivera have all made pit stops. Farrow, Leach, Levitt, Whitaker, Grobelny, O'Berry, Bennett, Hagedorn have yet to come down pit road. The question is still remaining. Will these guys have to pit? A lot of these guys actually, like, here comes Jamie Leach. He's going to stay out there because Colton Farrow's coming down pit road right now. We have seen only one driver, which was Greg O'Berry, play the fuel strategy to the point where he was able to run the longest. The question is, when are they going to come down pit road? Looks like the Keystone Motorsport Group going to go a lap down here. A long pit stop for both Dobbs and Millen. Right around the 44-second marker for each of those drivers in their pit box. Tim Smith only spent 42 seconds in his box, and Hunter Conley only spent 40 seconds. So right now, only 10 drivers on your lead lap. Where is Tim Smith is your question, because he was the first one down pit road. Well, second one, Hunter Conley drew him to pit road. About the short shoot distance between Tim Smith and Hunter Conley is the answer. There's your leader still out there circling the speedway. They are working themselves from turns 3 and 4 right now. Remember last year, Jamie Leach being your champion. Cody Levitt finished actually second, and Cole Day finished third in your point standings. Here comes the Deeper Darker Dew team. They will turn over the lead here with just 19 laps to go. There goes Orlando Rivera, Jason Dobbs, and Josiah Millen. They will all get their lap back. The number 4 of Macro Belney, though, he is going to stay out here with that damaged Backwoods Racing number 4. So Macro Belney staying out here. Greg O'Berry also, who's just about 3.5 seconds behind the Grobelny machine. Those two will be your last two to come down pit road here when they elect to. There you see Greg O'Berry working through turn 2. He'll find the backstretch right out there, coming up to speed. I believe that's the 62 of Colton Farrow right out in front of your leaders. 18 laps to go here from Indianapolis. Who will etch their name in the book as the first winner for the Salt Flat IROC Series as they return here for the first time since the actual IROC Series ran here back in the early 2000s? Waiting on your front two to come down pit road. Here comes Macro Belney. You can tell he's coming down pit road. Is Greg O'Berry going to follow him? Greg O'Berry will follow Macro Belney down pit road. Now it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to watch and see how long Greg O'Berry actually has to sit in his pit box. He came down pit road here 4 laps sooner than he did last time. He knows he's at that 18 lap marker, which he had exceeded in his last pit stop. Remember, he was out there actually 20 laps, so nobody on the front stretch. There goes Macro Belney. He hits his pit box. Greg O'Berry hits his pit box. Where is Tim Smith is going to be the question. Oh, Greg O'Berry actually overshot his pit box, so that's going to take even longer. Could he have just shot himself in the foot? Tim Smith coming out of turn number 4. Right now, the tires have been changed already on the 141 of Greg O'Berry. As here comes Tim Smith. Tim Smith, Hunter Conley, both going to pass the 4 here and the 141 of Greg O'Berry. There they go. That's Josh Taylor down there on the access road. He is coming out of pit road. He is right now shown 35 laps down for the driver of the 01, last week's winner. Greg O'Berry still sitting on pit road. The 4 of Macro Belney now drops the jack. Now drops the jack for the 141. Going to be a drag race off pit road. O'Berry going to have the inside advantage, but is Macro Belney going to give him it? Grobelny's going to sneak out right in front. O'Berry's now going to have to battle with Grobelny. They have probably the best odds of making it on fuel, but I believe Jamie Leach, Cody Levitt also good on fuel. Be interesting to see if any of those drivers are going to need fuel. How about the 000 here with Tim Smith? Let's take a lap around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on board with Tim Smith. listening to a little bit of race chatter as we watched Tim Smith rocking around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I think Smith and his crew chief out there talking might be just shy on fuel. Hunter Conley is really starting to back it up just a tad into the corner, not exactly full throttle down the straight or down through into the corners. Those two drivers trying to save just a little bit of fuel if they can. I think I heard through the chatter, though, on the race scanner, the 38 and the 88 might be pretty good on fuel, but it's going to be close. The fuel mileage calculators are out for the crew chiefs here at Indianapolis. 15 laps to go. Tim Smith will see 14 laps this time by as he works his way through turn number 4. On the front stretch he comes. 14 more laps here around the Indianapolis Raceway. Everybody is pretty well spread out. You got to go right here to this group of cars. Millen, Rivera, and Farrow, along with Dobbs. Those drivers 3, 4, 5, and 6. Or sorry, Farrow is actually a little bit farther back. He was with this group before pit stops. These guys right now, Dobbs, Rivera, and Millen, are right on the border. Like, possibly could make it, possibly could not. We're going to have to pay attention to them and see how the lap times start to fall on these cars to see if they're trying to back it up and save a little bit, or if they can definitely full out make it to the end of the race here. And you got this group of cars back here. That's the 62 of Farrow. That's the 38 of Levitt, and then the 88 of Leach. Word on the scanner is this group of 3 can make it the rest of the way. Well, we do thank all of our fans for tuning in here on the Turn 3 Racing Network Wednesday night. It's the Salt Flat IROC Series right here with you in the booth, watching the little Skittles roam around here for the Indianapolis Raceway. What a good one we've seen so far. Only 2 cautions being brought out here from Indianapolis. Just shows you what kind of racing skill you have here with the Salt Flat IROC Series. A handful of drivers have been sideways numerous times, handful of times, Baker's dozen at least. Sideways for drivers. How about Greg O'Berry? He's been around. He's been around and involved in actually, I believe, the only 2 yellows that have come out here, and he's been banged up, smashed up. Right now runs 11th. He is the guaranteed one that can make it the rest of the way on fuel along with Matt Grobelny. So Greg O'Berry running in that 11th place. The man he came down pit road with has really shot out of a cannon. Matt Grobelny is going somewhere. Remember, when Matt Grobelny and Greg O'Berry got together on the second yellow flag coming out of turn number 4, when O'Berry was into the outside wall, and then it just kind of shot to the left on him with Grobelny to the inside, nowhere to go. Grobelny was all the way back. Last car on the lead lap, running in 16th place at one point. He's clawed his way back up inside the top 10 here on the long runs. A lot of damage, though, done to the 4 car. But the backwoods racer out of New Jersey, he's gonna send it. And you see him right in front of Michael Whitaker, getting real close to that outside wall. With 12 laps to go, Tim Smith still finds himself way out front. Michael Whitaker sitting right behind him. Those are pretty much, other than this group right here, Rivera, Dobbs, and Milne. Those are your closest 3. But actually, here comes Orlando Rivera. He might have done the calculation. Maybe he figures he can't make it. He'll be the first one to peel off and come down pit road. So Orlando Rivera, the cards were laid down on the table, and Orlando Rivera not able to make it on fuel. He'll bring the 54 down pit road. Tim Smith coming off turn number 2, though. Still has about a little over 3.5. It looks like just about 4-second gap. Back to Hunter Conley, who's just hanging out back here. Both of them looking at the timing and scoring. Actually, I believe Tim Smith has started to back up the car just a little bit. Checking it out just a little bit on the timing and scoring. We're going to have to see when Tim Smith comes by the flag man here. Has he started to back it up? Hunter Conley looks like he's diving to pit road. Hunter Conley going to give up the second place. He's going to come down for a splash of fuel. He realized he can't make it the rest of the way. His cards were laid on the table. His bed was made. He's going to give up the second spot because here comes Dobbs and Millen. The question is, does Dobbs and Millen have enough fuel in the car to go the rest of the way? So now you just saw second and third as Tim Smith's going to put Orlando Rivera a lap down. You just saw Rivera and Conley give up second and third position to bring those two machines for service. Rivera spending 21.7 seconds in his pit stall. Let's see, Hunter Conley's down there, 13, 14, 15, tick, 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 16, 17. It continues to count. 20 seconds in his pit box now. 22 seconds, 23, 24. Here comes the damaged machine, the 01 of Taylor down pit road. Hunter Conley finally down and away, 28 seconds in his box. And as he's in his box for that long, here comes Tim Smith powering down the front stretch. 9 laps to go here for Tim Smith. Josh Taylor has finally decided to wrap up his night here. Can't make up any more positions with 9 laps to go. So Josh Taylor in the 01 car going to go 16th here tonight. So it looks like we have 5 drivers out of the event here. Nicholas Bieber has loaded up and headed to Rockingham, along with the 01 of Josh Taylor. Timmy Valenzuela, Patrick Smith, and David Carmen did not take to the David Carmen is the one that did not take to the grid here tonight. So unfortunate. Going to lose a bunch of positions in the Rookie of the Year standings for David Carmen, along with Patrick Smith. So 4 rookies actually out of this one here before the end. That only leaves 1 rookie still out there on track, and that's going to be the 99, and that's Darrell Clotter. And right now he's running around out there just in front of your leader, and I believe he's actually out there trying to save a little bit of fuel too. So everybody has started to back her down now. Checking through the timing and scoring. Jason Dobbs and Josiah Millen, we missed it. They came down pit road. They snuck out of there with 10 seconds on the clock, so they weren't able to make it on fuel. We missed that as we were talking about, oh, Millen got to go for a ride off pit road. Millen goes for a ride. He saves it, but I'm not sure if that's going to be counted as an unsafe pit exit for Millen. We're going to have to watch and find out if that's going to be a pass-through penalty, as I don't think he made the cone coming out of the pits. Let's rewind it here a little bit and so you can see exactly what happened to Millen. There you see he's already sideways. Right there, he's out into the grass. He's trying to get all he can to try and get with Jason Dobbs, and through the grass he goes. You hear him way out of the throttle. Dobbs at that point is gone. Where is Tim Smith? Tim Smith right there. Still out in front. Has a 25-second lead over the man who runs in second place. And that's Colton Farrow. There they are down the backstretch. They are about a half track behind Tim Smith as they're going down there into corner number 3. Let's go find where Tim Smith is. Smith is at the start-finish line, so all right, maybe 3/4 of a track. Or, well, not quite 3/4 of a track. If they ain't half a track, they ain't 3/4 of the track either, so. But 25 seconds is the gap Tim Smith has over Colton Farrow. Colton Farrow now onto the front stretch with the 38 of Cody Levitt pushing him. Levitt going to pop out a line. Levitt going to try and ditch the 62. Question's going to be is where is Jamie Leach, and can he jump to the inside? Not enough momentum for the 88 of Leach. So Levitt goes to second. Farrow goes to third. Leach still runs in the 4th spot, and we talked about it earlier in the broadcast. Look at these two back here. Grobelny now runs 5th. Whitaker runs now in 6th. We know Grobelny can make it the rest of the way. Looking at timing and scoring, I think Jared Hagerdorn also is going to be able to make it the rest of the way, along with that man, Greg O'Berry. So it's still going to be interesting to see. Can Farrow, can Smith take it the rest of the way? Tim Smith really starting to back up the car because there goes Orlando Rivera. Rivera's going to go around him, and now maybe Smith is going to see if he can sit in the draft of that 54 machine and get towed around here for the next 6 laps around Indianapolis. Tim Smith started off the season pretty strong here in the Salt Flat IROC Series, notching 3 wins in the early going. His finishes: Daytona first, Texas was a third, Myrtle Beach was a first, and Auto Club was a first. Then a kind of I'm going to say bad races for him. 8th place at Atlanta, 18th at Phoenix, and a 2nd last week at Chicagoland by the skin of his teeth. Could have easily been 4 wins last week at Chicagoland for Tim Smith. Is actually Smith going to come down pit road. The strategy continues. He is a 26-second lead here, coming to get 5 to go. The 000 Tim Smith coming down pit road. So the strategy continues. Let's sit here. Let's watch as Cody Levitt chews into the lead. Coming out of turn number 4, you're going to see the Deeper Darker Dew team nose to tail as Smith is coming down. He's going to have to hit his box. How long will he sit in his box? He finally hits his box at the end of the straightaway, and there is Cody Levitt. Jamie Leach, they're going to take over the lead here, and in tow going to be the 62 of Colton Farrow. So Tim Smith sitting on pit road, and right there go your leaders. So with 5 to go, the Deeper Darker Dew team strategy of Levitt, Leach out front. How about Farrow? Could he win it? We talked to him earlier in the race. Wasn't sure how this race was really going to play out. Wasn't one of his favorite tracks. He says every corner here from Indianapolis races like Pocono when you head over the tunnel turn. Can he hang on here? We're going to find out here. 4.5 laps still remaining here from Indy. The Deeper Darker Dew team kind of both washed out that time coming through the corner. Got to keep paying attention right here. This is going to be the battle for the win. Tim Smith spent 16 seconds on pit road to get enough fuel in the 000. He fell all the way back into the 8th position. He's about 2 seconds behind these two that are nose to tail. The 2 of Jared Haggard running the 31 of Donald Bennett, who runs 6th and 7th. These 2 drivers out here, 1 and 2, Cody Levitt, Jamie Leach, starting to run away from the man who's running in your 3rd spot. Farrow, the tires look to be just about gone. He's been out there 15 laps. 15 laps on his tires, and they are absolutely junk. The track temp here at the end of this race still sitting at a cool 114 degrees. Matt Robelny still back there with Michael Whitaker all over the tail end of that number 4 machine. Actually, Robelny just getting around Michael Whitaker. Whitaker on that same strategy as your leaders of Cody Levitt and Jamie Leach. Four laps to go. We're going to see 3 to go at the flag stand. 3 laps remaining here. Colton Farrow looked like he was fading for a moment and is now caught back up to the back bumper on the 88 of Jamie Leach, as he's going to look to go to the inside here on Jamie down into turn number 1. They both back off pretty early, but Jamie Leach missing the entry then, and he's way up the track, sideways for the 88 in the middle of the corner. Through corner number 1, still side by side for the 2nd position. Farrow to the inside, Leach on the outside, and Levitt is looking in the mirror, and he is loving it. He is saying, boys, at this point, go ahead. You want to race for the 2nd position? You race for it. I'm going to try and lead the last 3 laps here from Indy. All over the back bumper. You saw the 62 down the backstretch sideways. A little bit of a wiggle out of the rear end of that. Jamie Leach back around Colton Farrow. So Leach will retake the 2nd position down into turn number 3. Farrow going to have to fall back and try and mount the charge. Still has a little over 2 laps left in the event here as they enter turn 4. Farrow's going to throw her in early into the corner. Leach is going to try and diamond it off a little bit. Try to get the run. See if he can wheel or reel back in Cody Levitt. Levitt has about a 3-car length lead right now over the 88 of Jamie Leach. Looks like that is Daryl Clauter coming down pit road. The 99 of Derek Lauder going one lap down. He needed to make one final pit stop to make the final 2 laps of the event here. So his 14th showed one lap down. And the battle is still on. Out of turn number 2 with 2 to go. Right now, Cody Levitt looking in his rearview mirror going, please, here comes Jamie Leach, my teammate. What's he going to do? No yellow flag is what these two are looking for right now. Colton Farrow might be out of gas. He's a little off the pace. Little down on power for the 62 of Colton Farrow. He's about 10, 12 miles an hour now, 15 miles an hour slower than the drivers who are out in front of him. So it's going to be a 2-horse race here to the finish. Cody Levitt's going to come off turn number 4 at the flags, and he's going to see the white flag in the air. One more lap here from Indianapolis. Waiting for the white flag to be displayed. There it is. White flag now being displayed. One more lap. We will finish this one in regulation. It's going to be the battle between the teammates. Second and third in the points and looking to gain some as Tim Smith's down the running order, running in the 7th position. These two, it's going to be a drag them out fight right here. When is the haymaker of Leach going to come to the back bumper of the 3811? We're going to find out here. Just 2 more quarters to go as they work off corner number 2 down the long back stretch. Last time, both drivers wanting the points as they need to run down Tim Smith. There it is, Levitt with a block to the 88 on Leach as they work down into 3. Leach is going to have the better angle into the corner, but Levitt's holding the bottom lane. As they come out of corner number 3, nose to tail through the short chute one final time. Levitt has about a car length and a half lead over his teammate. Can he make it? Out of turn number 4 they come. No contact to the outside wall. Both drivers staying away from it. Checkered flag in the air. Coming down the home stretch, it's going to be Cody Levitt's going to win here from Indy. IROC's back at Indy. Levitt back in victory lane. A 1-2 for the Deeper Darker Dude team, but the battle is on right here. Looks like the 62 out of gas. He's just going to make third. Macro Bounty just mixing out on a podium finish here. He's going to come back to finish fourth. Michael Whitaker is 5th. Coming down the home stretch, Tim Smith disappointed. It's going to be a 6th place finish for the 000 of Tim Smith. Donald Bennett saves enough fuel. He makes it 18 laps at the end there. Jared Hagedorn comes home 1 position behind him in 8th. Then it looks like Dobbs is going to come home in the 9th position. Millen's going to round out the top 10. What about a heartbreaker night? Hunter Conley had to come get fuel. He's going to finish 11th. Orlando Rivera just in tow right behind him, 12th. And talk about heartbreak, talk about finish. Grego Berry is going to come home 13th. Derek Lauder, your last car out there running. He'll come across the stripe right there. He'll finish 14th. So it's a Deeper Darker Do 1-2. Colton Farrow, who is out of gas, he's getting a push back here around the speedway by the 000. Look at that. Nice little, we'll call it teamwork here between the 2 drivers. So Cody Levitt, the winner here. As you hear him coasting in, he might be out of fuel at this point. Not out of fuel enough, though. Cody Levitt going to go into a celebration. We're going to step away here. Your top 5 here from Indianapolis, though, at the end of the 75 laps. Cody Levitt, Jamie Leach, and the out of fuel 62 of Colton Farrow. And we're back here from Indianapolis here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. You just watched the Salt Flat IROC Series, and what a race it was. Cody Levitt, Jamie Leach playing the fuel strategy to a T, as you had to see the third-place car. Colton Farrow, he came across the line. It looked like on fumes. He had to be pushed back here to the start-finish line for the post-race interviews. But at the top of your screen, the ticker's going. Find your favorite driver here for the Salt Flat IROC Series, as that is the official finishing order here from Indianapolis. Top 3 at the complete top of your screen. Let's see if we can get a word in, though, with your winner here real quick. Cody Levitt, you did it, my friend. It's your first time here at Indianapolis here with the IROC Series, and you parked that 38 in Victory Lane.
Oh, we finally got one, boys. I'm so excited.
Yeah, you can hear it in your voice. You're excited. You can see the eyes in your picture here on the screen. You really want to hear it. On Wednesday nights, it seems like you kind of reach down a little bit farther out here in your iRacing career, and you really want to win them. What does it mean, though, to win one here at Indianapolis here in the IROCs?
It's a wonderful track to race on. It means a lot, man. I mean, this is the first win this year, I think, for me, or this season at least. And it's always so tough to win here. You got Jamie, my teammate, who's always fast. You got Tim Smith, who's always faster. And it's just like, to win against them, it's unreal.
Yeah, there at the end of it, it came down to fuel strategy. Was that something that you and Jamie and the team were sitting back there, talking about the entire race? Because we know that you and the mad scientist kind of work that fuel strategy and kind of manipulate it. Is that something you guys work on from the drop of the green?
It wasn't really from the drop of the green, but I knew I wanted to make, the longest amount of laps on the first and second pit stop, because then we would have had to take less fuel on the third one, or stretch it to all the way to the end, and that's what ended up happening. So, super stoked.
Yeah, super stoked. You led 12 laps here tonight, but walk us through those final 2 laps there. Final 2 to 3 laps. There's a 3-car breakaway because you had seen Tim Smith and Hunter Conley have to pit along with Orlando Rivera. Those were the 3 guys out in front of you. They pitted before you on the last stop. But it came down to a 3-car battle. Were you worried at any point that Colton was going to try and ruin the parade here for you tonight?
I was worried at first, but there was a little bit of strategy in that as well. I was like, Colton pit like a lap before us, right? So I was like, I'm going to stay behind him for these last couple laps. Or I've stayed behind him pretty much the whole run. Passed him with 5 or 6 to go, and then I thought Jamie was going to try to beat me here. But he's a good teammate.
Yeah, so a 1-2 finish for the Deeper Darker Dude team. Cody Levitt, though, your winner here. Cody, before we step away, we're going to hand you the mic. We're going to give you the floor. Who do you got to thank for your first place win here at Indianapolis?
I want to thank 2AT Lawn Care, Elfod Motorsports, my team. I want to help, obviously, you guys for broadcasting. It's always a good time. We missed you last week. I want to thank my family out there if they're watching, and if not, then that's messed up. I'm just kidding. But you guys, thanks so much.
Well, there you heard it from Cody Levitt, coming home P1 today. First win on the season. He's had 2 second-place finishes, one over at Myrtle Beach at the short track, and then another second-place finish over at the Phoenix International Raceway. So 2 short-track wins for Cody Levitt on the year. Now finally gets a win on one of the bigger tracks, a 2.5-mile track. He parks the 38 in Victory Lane, but we also caught up with his teammate, the 88, Jamie Leach. Jamie, a second-place finish here tonight, but all in all, a good points night for the Deeper Darker Do team.
Yeah, I'll definitely take a second place here anytime. Cody's extremely fast, and I got to thank him for the fuel strategy that got me in second here.
Yeah, you talk about the fuel strategy we heard from Cody. It's kind of something that you guys week in and week out play. From the drop of the green, you guys played the fuel strategy. But tell us about how the racing was out there. It kind of seemed like there a couple times in the early going, the 88 car got stuck to the outside and went straight to the back of the pack.
Yeah, it was tough. If you got hung outside, you were pretty much, you were done. You were losing at least a couple of spots. So, yeah, tagging the inside was definitely where you wanted to be there.
The inside lane for yourself. It says on our timing and scoring, only 1 lap led for you as you put the 88 out front for 1 lap. Did you have anything, though, at the end here for Cody out in front?
Down the back stretch, I got a run on him. Kind of was thinking about taking a peek and decided probably not going into the corner like that, or probably would have wrecked us both. So I backed off a little bit, and he would have been too fast anyway, I believe.
Yeah, so strategy being played by not only yourself but Cody to kind of park yourselves 1 and 2. It's been a good year so far for not just yourself as you come into this running second in the points, 36 back. You're going to make up some ground here tonight because Tim Smith finished all the way back into, well, I had it for a second, 6th place finish for Tim Smith. So that 36-point gap that was between you and Tim is going to start to tighten up. Next week we head to a different ball game for yourself. We're going to head over to the Rockingham International Speedway. The Rock, it's a tough one out there. What are you thinking for next week?
That track, as long as I can keep my car clean, I think I'll be top 10, maybe top 5.
So a top 10, top 5 maybe next week. We had a top 3 here tonight. You parked the 88 P2. Who do you got to give shout outs to before we step away?
I'd like to thank my wife Deb, my teammate Cody Levitt, who's awesome on the pit strategies, To a T Lawn Care, Sim Necessities, Team McMullen, Next Level Racing, L5 Motorsports, Little V Books, and Roger Muth, you up there in the booth. Do a great job. Yeah, Larry Poling too. If he's out there, I want to give him a shout out. He's doing great coming up through the iRacing ranks.
Well, there's a couple shout-outs you hear from the 88 of Jamie Leach. He comes home second. It's a 1-2 for the Deeper Darker Dude team, and they're close the gap on Tim Smith headed into next week from Rockingham. But we got one more interview. The guy who came across the line on fumes, Colton Farrow. How did you stretch the fuel that long to make it across the line here at the end?
You know, I knew I'd have to go as long as possible on my fuel window, and so when I did it, I knew I'd be probably about a half lap short. So thankfully, Cody and Jamie, they basically just stayed behind me as I fuel saved and allowed me to finish in third.
Yeah, you come home in third here tonight. It's the best finish of the season for you. It's really been a rough season, except for the late here. You had a 33rd place finish to start the year, a 25th, a 24th, a 21st, a 12th, and then it starts to get a little bit better here. We broke into the top 5 all the way back at Phoenix, an 8th place finish last week from Chicago, and now a podium finish, P3 for you here. Is your year starting to turn around now?
Yeah, I think I'm starting to make a bit of smarter decisions. You know, luck's going a bit my way. I had a close call earlier in this race, but I think I'm just starting to be a smarter racer as the season goes on.
And as you talk about as the season goes on, with 4 races left here in the season for the Salt Flat IROC Series, we're going to head to Rockingham, Michigan, and then I believe one of your favorites, we're going to finish the season off once we head over into September 4th at Pocono International Raceway. Out of those 4 races coming up here, which track are you looking to start to really close the gap here at the end?
I think I'm looking forward most to Richmond. It's the track I won at last year. Track I had a good time with, battled with Jeff Bergner. So, you know, I'd say I'm looking forward to most Richmond, but I think I'll do good next week. Hopefully get some more points.
Yeah, so a good points night here for you. Looked like you had a little help, though, getting back around here to finish this one off.
Yeah, I did a little cry for help, and Tim Smith, he gets the Good Guy Award tonight. He pushed me pretty much around the entire track to make sure I could get up here for the interviews.
Well, the Good Guy Award going out to Tim Smith. We know it's not going to be where he wanted to finish tonight, but it's pretty close to where you wanted to finish. 2 spots back from a P1, a podium finish, though. 3rd place, not so bad for yourself. Who do you got to thank on that 62 machine?
I got to thank my teammate, Daryl Calder. I got to thank my fellow mods and Hunter Connolly, Danny Valenzuela, and Matt Grabelny. Also got to thank the 2 guys sitting next to me. I wouldn't have finished where I was tonight unless they stuck with me. And then I got to thank To a T Lawn Care, Next Level Racing, Sim Necessities, Little V Books, L5 Motorsports, and of course you guys up in the booth.
Well, there you heard it from the driver who came home in your third place tonight. Colton Farrow finally putting the 62 up on a podium finish inside the top 3 here this season. Has a couple wins to his name, but they came in earlier seasons. not this year so far for himself. So Cody Levitt saving enough fuel along with Jamie Leach. Fuel strategy played perfectly for the Deeper Darker Do team. Colton Farrow just coming across the stripe about a car length in front of Matt Grobelny and Michael Whitaker. They came through the traps here side by side for the 4th and 5th position. Tim Smith having to come down for a late splash of fuel. He rallied back for a 6th place finish. Donald Bennett finishing 7th. Jared Hagedorn hanging on to an 8th place finish. Jason Dobbs, Josiah Millen coming 9 and 10. Hunter Conley falling way back there, finishing 11th with Orlando Rivera. Greg O'Berry also finishing buried back in the field in 13th. Darryl Clotter having a rough night of his own. They're going a lap down at the very end of the race. 14th place finish for him. And then the rest of the guys, it was rough from the drop of the green. Nick Beaver finishing 15th, 28 laps behind everybody. Josh Taylor made up the spot on Timmy Valenzuela to come home in 16th. Then he called it a night, 45 laps down. Tim Valenzuela, talked about him, 17th place finish. 47 laps down. Patrick Smith really came into the night with high hopes. He was battling up inside the top 5 until a little bit of a bump sent him to the inside wall. He comes home 18th, 70 laps down. And David Carmen having some little rig issues here tonight, comes home 19th. What a race it was here, though, from Indianapolis. These guys returned the old IROC field back here to the Brickyard, and they put on a show from the time we went green. Kind of stretched it out a little bit at the end of it, but it all came back around full circle when the fuel strategy came into play, and you couldn't have played it any perfectly if you were inside the top 3 here for those gentlemen. It's going to be a whole different ball game, though, next week when we head over to Rockingham. It's the Rock, baby. It's a rough little short track. It's got bumps. The question's going to be, are you going to be able to hold the car down on the white line, or are the bumps going to send you right up the track? Is it going to be a track just like we saw here tonight, where if you got stuck to the outside, are you going to get blown by like we saw Jamie Leach in the early going? Or, well, is it just going to be one of those calm tracks? We're not going to find out till next week. But before we step away here, we got to thank all the little sponsors we talk about. How about this big name right here? Next Level Racing stepping up here. Has a nice little championship prize at the end of the year. So Next Level Racing, all your sim racing rig needs. Team McMullen, your premier VA lender loan. Not just your VA lender loan. You need any kind of loan? Head on over to Team McMullen. DLB Yankees 41, the Twitch streamer, his point of view. Hit up DLB Yankees 41 over on Twitch. Sim Necessities, you need a button box, you need a brake bias dial, how about a shock adjuster for your midgets? Head on over to Sim Necessities. Matt Grobelny could build you something that you need to your liking. How about Elfod Motorsports? You up in the Vermont area, the New Hampshire area, you need a car? You need your car fixed? Head on over to Elfod Motorsports. They'll get your car tuned up like one of these IROCs, get you out here on track. Maybe you can beat out Cody Levitt or Jamie Leach. Maybe bang doors with Josiah Millen. When To A T Lawn Care, you want those stripes looking like a baseball field? Hit up To A T Lawn Care. They can get you set up like the ball field, and you'll be out there playing some ball. We also got to thank the Salt Flat IROC series for coming over here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Boy, oh boy, what a show they put on. What a show they put on week in and week out. What a show they put on here at Indy. And what a show they're going to put on next week at Rockingham. Tune in next Wednesday night right here on your Turn 3 Racing Network. Catch all the live IROC action weekly. Wednesday night, 9 p.m.